Hello and welcome to Twin Creeks Farm. In this video we're going to be working on our International 93 combine to try and get it running again. It's probably been about 15 or 16 years since it was last used to harvest oats by my grandfather. So we'll go through the whole thing and see if we can get it going, because we're probably about 2 weeks away from being ready to harvest oats. So we want to know if we'll be harvesting it or hiring someone to come in and harvest it for us. If you enjoy this comment, please like and subscribe, and if you ring the little bell there, you'll get notifications for when we upload videos. For some reason, if you just subscribe, you don't always. I don't really know the logic. You can see the field starting to get a bit of a yellow tinge to it. So some of the heads are still very green, some are yellow. Come on, focus. So if I squeeze that now, so like that's in the dough stage, it's hard, no white stuff coming out of it. It's not ripe, but it's pretty close. But I'm sure if I take some of these greener ones, squeeze it, it still has white coming out of it. So they won't necessarily all be ripe when you go to combine, but you want it pretty close because the whole field won't ripen at the same rate. So we had a few things we're going to try out first to get this thing back going again. We'll have to drain any of the old gasoline out of the tank, and then put in some fresh gasoline. We'll probably have to try to run a little bit through, just because the lines will have a little bit of old gas in them. And we'll blow up the tires and make sure that they hold air. And then we bought a new battery, so we'll get it hooked up and see if it'll crank over properly for us. And if it seems like it'll kind of go, then we'll go ahead and change the oil and look at all the filters and just get it ready to go for oats. Since that's taking a while to drain, we're just gonna climb up on top and get the battery hooked up. Didn't think it was gonna take as long to drain the fuel. The engine on this is mounted on top of the machine. It's just got a little hood to protect it there, but most of the year is stored inside, so you don't really want your combine getting rained on too much. I think we'll say that's good enough. Doesn't look like there's any leaks. I think that little bit of moisture was from when I was changing it. But we'll see if we can get it fired up and what it does then. So, battery ignition on. Check the oil level. See what we got going on there. Not the cleanest oil, but should be enough. So I had a look at the manual inside, and one thing I didn't do, you can't hardly even see that little knob. There's the choke there. So try this again. Alright, opened up the air intake and on the carburetor and put some carb cleaner in there, so hopefully that'll help. And we'll try again. So one thing Dad suggested was taking the fuel line off at the engine and just letting the fuel pump run to run the old fuel through. I throttle on a bit. So I ran into a bit of a problem when I was, what I was doing was I was going to clean the spark plugs on the, it's a 4-cylinder 50 horse C153 engine. And I figured, oh, I'll just pop these wires off and we'll clean the spark plugs and see if that'll help get us going. But I didn't make note of the ordering of the wiring, which is a little bit of a oops by me. So I mean, thankfully on the side of the engine they stamp it into the engine. So on this I think it was 1342. So I was trying to get it going at that. I wasn't having any luck with that, so I was a little confused. And then I guess I was talking to Dad about it, and he looked it up. And so on the engine on this side it says firing order 1342, and so I was thinking, okay, well, it's on this side, you read left to right, obviously it's then going to be left to right that works from, but Dad looked it up and it's actually measured from the radiator there, so it's actually, I was going 1 to 4 this way, but it was really 1 to 4 this way. Doing everything in reverse is a little tricky. So we hooked that back up that way and it still wasn't quite working, and then I thought, oh, did I shut that fuel valve off when I was checking to make sure that there was pressure from the pump. And so he was cranking it and I opened it up and it it fired. So a few little mistakes there, but it will run now. So, battery on, a little bit of throttle, choke. It's actually run fairly smoothly. You still have to run it with a little bit of choke. So run a little bit of carb cleaner through it. And hopefully it'll run just a little smoother. And just when I go to throttle it up, have good oil pressure, so we should be good to go with the motor. I've got to clean out the filter, the air filter, change the oil in the oil filter. The rad leaks. It's just water in the radiator in this, so if we're gonna run it, we got to top that up, fill the tires. We'll do all that, we'll pull it outside, and then we'll give everything a bit of a test run and make sure that we're good to go. This is the air filter. The filter's in here, and then there's oil in the bottom that catches all the dust. So we'll just pop that off, change the oil, and clean all the sludge out. Should be good to go there. There's the oil from the filter. And sludge. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. In a couple weeks, we'll hopefully be running this to combine our oats. Then one of the next things for us will probably be a lot of the processing of our Holstein steers, and all the banding and castrating, and just little management things like that. And we'll be moving them out into kind of a new area. We'll have to create groupings for them. So we'll have that. We'll have some oats and peas getting harvested. So there's a few things coming up here. So stay tuned to see what's up next. And then hopefully shortly we'll have time to get this going, and it'll be hopefully as simple as the combine. They've both been sitting for about the same amount of time, both gasoline engines, so we're thinking just dump the fuel, new fuel, clean the carb, battery. Hopefully it's as simple as that. So that'll be in a video shortly.